Hello, boys and girls. What we're going to talk about today is forming an opinion on our books. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the book all the way through, and at the end, I'm going to give my opinion. Do I agree with the author? Do I agree with what the characters do? Do I like the book? Is it maybe not my favorite book that I've ever read? So, we're going to read this book all the way through, and then we're going to talk about opinions. I'll give my opinion, and then you can talk about your opinion to your family after you are done listening to it. And all, as well, do this with your books too. Read 2 to 3 books today, and then you can talk about your opinion on those books too. So this book is called King Pig, and it's by Nick Bland. King Pig could never understand why the sheep didn't adore him. They were always complaining about one thing or another. They hardly ever smiled, and when they did, King Pig thought they were teasing him. They never listened properly, no matter how loudly he shouted. So I'm already starting to form an opinion. I can see why the sheep might not like him. He's shouting, he's having them carry him. And the harder he tried to get their attention, the more they ignored him. Now he's throwing things at him. Doesn't seem like he's very kind. Because he was the king, he could make the sheep do whatever he wanted, whatever he pleased. But he just couldn't make them like him. Maybe they would like me more if I looked fancier, said King Pig. For that, he would need a lot of fancy new clothes. But who could he get to make them? I'm going to make a prediction and say probably the sheep. King Pig woke up all the sheep and invited them into his nice warm castle. So it's looking like the sheep are going to go. And there he slept while the sheep went to work. They gathered up every last snippet of their wool, and they knitted all through the night until the king had his pile of fancy new clothes. I don't know. I don't think this is going to make the sheep like him much more. In the morning, King Pig was ready to prance. He looked... ... spectacular. He was ferocious. He was fearless. He was the best dressed king in the kingdom. Now I'm going to make another prediction. I don't think this is going to make the sheep like him. But when he stopped to take a bow, nobody was watching. Nobody was cheering. Nobody was adoring him. What do I have to do to make you like me? Maybe you could try being nice, said a little voice. But I thought I was being nice, said King Pig, and he went inside to sulk. That night, King Pig couldn't sleep. He felt something he'd never felt before. He felt sorry. Then, at last, he thought of something nice he could do for the sheep. He worked through the night and into the morning. By sunrise, he was ready to say sorry in the only way he could think of. It wasn't perfect, but all the sheep agreed it was a pretty good start. All right, so that is the book. So I'm going to give my opinion, and I'm going to start at the ending. So At the end, King Pig gave these sheep some clothing to wear. They gave him a cape, they gave him robes made of their fur that he had them work all night to make for him. So he gave it back to them. I think that was something kind. I think that King Pig finally realized that he was not being kind. He was taking advantage of these sheep. He was being kind of a mean king. He was making the sheep do all these things for him, and he just wasn't very nice to them. So I think that I like this ending. I agree with it. I think Pig not only did something nice for the sheep, um, he also realized what he was doing wrong. And sometimes that is the most important thing. Not just doing something nice, but also realizing what you were doing was wrong. And I think that King Pig did a nice job of doing that. I also like how he worked through the night and into the morning, just like he made the sheep do for him. He woke all the sheep up and made them make him these nice clothes. And I think that it was a good thing that King Pig did the same thing. He worked through the night. He did something that was a little bit uncomfortable. So I agree with the message in the story that the author had. I think that sometimes people do things and they don't realize that they're upsetting people. And I think that's what happened to King Pig. And when he realized that, he did something nice. So he did both things. He realized that he was doing something wrong, and he also did something nice to make up for it. So while you're reading your books, make sure you come up with opinions. What do you think? Do you agree with the author? Do you like the message? Is there a message? Also, talk to your family members about King Pig. What is your opinion on it? It doesn't have to be the same as mine. An opinion is what you think. So make sure you're doing that when you're reading your books today, and have a great day.